All right, this right here is just something I wanted to talk about for a second. Somebody had asked me if I know about, I guess, psychedelic psilocybin. But I can tell you what I do know, and this is just a little bit of it. I do know that the amanita muscaria, all right, this right here, is a very important ingredient in history. This is, to those of y'all out there that don't know what that is, that's this. It's a mushroom. It's actually this right here. The term, that comes from that. Because see, manure, people don't understand. Manure, if composting and real farming was around, the manure has a cosmic energy that most people don't even know anything about. They don't know anything. They just think it's gross and disgusting, and they don't know anything other than what this is. The only thing that gives them value is this. You take that away, they're done. You know, because not this, but a cow's horn, or horn in general, this is just an antler, antenna, ants. There's a magnetic field. But the horns, you would bury with manure in them through a season or two, or sometimes a year. And then you bring it out because it's been charged in the ground. There's this huge magnetic field that's big. And then they would take that and then use it for their farming and gardening. See, and what I've learned before we get into this, you know, when we like peyote, but like this right here, when they talk about the gods coming to earth, well, it's through something like the mushroom. Because if we're going to say these grew outside and these people knew what they were doing, because they did, then this mushroom is going to get a lot of its life, okay, that nobody knows about through the moon cycle, through Saturn's orb, its energy, Jupiter, Mars, Venus, Mercury, all of it. It's going to be charging those. And that's why this term is bigger than what people can possibly imagine or even fathom. Because this, which is the lowest form of humanity that's ever existed, will not allow them out. That's the prison. I mean, this is a prison right here. So, with all that being said, the Holy Grail, if you look at the Holy Grail, it's what that is. It has nothing to do with, this has nothing to do, because this is also in your brain in here. It's also in here. It's right in there. It's funny how that and that's the same, because these are both made of the same cells, the same elements, the same. Although we don't know that anymore. We don't know that. And see, what's in grail? Ra. And what does Ra have to do with? The sun. You know, because in Ra, you've got pray, you've got ray, raise, brain, grain, all them good, and now you've got crack, crank, kratom, grace, all that destroys the raws that's penetrating the anatomy, the brain, the organs and all that, and penetrating the ground, the manure, and the cosmic energy that's protruding that we have no idea about. But where we learn with this, man, that's just in the movies. It's just an Indiana Jones. Yeah, I know. See how they get you sidetracked? So, we're done with that one. Easter Island. Easter, okay? East. This is the thing. East star. So, what would that be? The sun. That's all it is. And these monuments right here are mushrooms. That's what they are. They're mushrooms. Look real hard. They're just mushrooms. And they're facing the east because it's the east star coming each day, which is the sun. Okay? And then the sun used to be called On in Egypt, That's why when you say turn the light on, y'all have no idea. It goes back to Egypt. So now in baseball, there's Easton. Do you see how they created that entity off of the ignorance of the Goyim? Easton. It's just East Star. It's the same as the monument. It's the same. But no, man, you're crazy. You know how many shows that I've watched on A&E? Entertainment? Yeah, enter the mind and contain it. I already know all about it. So the conditioning is, and plus they've been mud flooded and whatever else. So their job is to go, see my piece of paper and I'm on TV. They'll believe anything. And so the goy mind can't get out and be like, wow, all that makes sense. Done with that. Super Mario Brothers. You know, here it is. Mario and Luigi. All right, and if you get into numbers and stuff like that, it breaks down. It's a 33 thing. But what is it about? Mushrooms. Yeah. And then what we got right above it, Smurfs. And it's funny how it's red. Do you know what I'm saying? And then you've got red and blue. What are the mushrooms? Blue. Okay. But they're telling you through our entertainment, which is sorcery, what's really going on. And then if you get into like Santa Claus, get into some like deep studying, because we can get into the Santa Claustrum, which is in the brain. The claustrum, there's a cloister in there, and there is presence. But it's up to you to get those presents. But what we're going to do is I can't remember if it was druids or shamans, or probably all of them, people that knew before all this ignorance was created. But what the elders would do through seasonal changes and stuff, they would get a outfit that would mimic the amanita muscaria. So it would be an outfit sort of like Santa Claus has. But it would imitate the cap and all that. And they would go out and they would harvest the amanita muscaria, the elders, and then they would bless it and do whatever to it. And then at a certain time in the community, they would have, you know, a ritual. The same as church people do. They have a ritual every week. That's the word for it. It's a ritual. And they would have, but I mean, it's a good thing. It helps them, it helped them. But they made sure that it was well manicured and taken care of. And they really respected it, to whereas now it's not respected whatsoever. And so, you know, there's a couple of explanations of why Santa Claustrum and Santa Claus, you know, because it all has to do with the amanita muscaria. And then when you get even deeper, you know, we can look at Jacob and Esau in the Bible. And Jacob had red hair. Okay, and then we get into the Black Pantherina mushroom, which has to do with the Black Panther movie. It is crazy. See what I mean? It's back to Hollywood. And remember, look, Hollywood. Now, real quick. All right, there's a hexagon or a hexagram. This stick is made from the holly tree. It's got 12 constellations on it. It's made from the holly tree, carved into it. It's been under some full moons, and I don't even know what I'm doing, but I do it because it's real. Feel it. Okay? But they would use it back in a long time ago and stand in the middle of this and cast hexes using the tree from the holly tree. And that's Hollywood. And now, through the ra-dio waves, there's ra going into the ears, and not the sun rays into the brain and the organs. And now that's infiltrated the ears for generations. Dio is God. So now this energy is generational in the DNA. So Hollywood is not this anymore. He is crazy. He's crazy. I bet the pharmacies have made probably at least 100 million trillion pills, and that's been in our anatomies and everything, and we are not coming out of this generational social engineering sorcery, Matt. We're not doing it. We're not doing it. We're not listening to you. Disney's real. It's for us to help us. You see what I mean? And that's the trick. Hollywood, they're still casting spells, hexes, spells, and we had spelling words and stuff. Man, listen, we can go on and on and on about the sorcery. Okay, but I just wanted to talk about like some of the amanita muscaria. You know, and this is just a little bit of the surface that I can bring. You just right off the top of my head, because I was like, let me just throw some stuff out here and see what happens. You know, because I know a lot of people will be like, no, no, no. It's, listen, okay, the Bible has 7 different meanings. So if you're a Christian, you've got one. That's it. There's 6 more that you got to know. And a guy was hired to break down some information and found out that like how much we have been lied to. And a lot of the scripture, how it correlates not only to a mushroom, but to actual humans and to the constellations and to the anatomy, that within the anatomy, your body parts and all that, and different things, cell salts, all that. It's crazy how smart these people were a long time ago, and how ignorant that we are now, you know. But the individual found out that a lot of the scripture is the amanita muscaria, because see, the what is it, the sacrament that the Catholic Church, that they take, the wafer, okay, that was the cap of the mushroom, because they used to take the amanita muscaria as sacrament and not a wafer. You know what I mean? Because that represents this. When they eat that now, it represents that. You know, and back before all that, they took the actual cap of the mushroom, like I was saying, like here in different rituals, if you will. But I mean, some of y'all out there know a lot more than me about it. But I'm just showing you, it's like, why would some dumb alcoholic from the hospital bed just be like, hey, this is what I know about it? You know, because I do know one thing. There's 8,000 different kinds of mushrooms. 8,000 different kinds. You understand what I just said? You don't even learn nothing. You just learn this one. That's it. There's 8,000. And so we are all made of cells, okay? And those are too. And think about what this right here is missing, because it doesn't have anything, not just that's microdosing too, but this needs what comes from the ground. I'm becoming like, I don't know, a naturalist, because I'm getting to where I feel horrible now. You know, now I know because even now my diet hasn't been good for years, for 2 or 3 years, as far as being strict. And I can, because I have the discipline. But then again, when you do that around a whole community that doesn't give a shit about themselves, then you really can hate it on. You know, so it sucks having to fit in through all these weapons against us, which is what we drink and eat and what we watch, and just sit there. Just sit there. Just sit there. Hey, he's crazy. Just sit there. He's crazy. Just sit there. We'll sit here again. He's crazy. Just sit there. It's sad. You know, but hell yeah, I love you.